back from the All-Star weekend. These Not a Dollars, well, they essentially had a week off. So in this episode, we are going to cover my team update, what I am doing going forward with my cards and rewards, etc., as well as the general overall complaining that we do here pretty much every episode. Let's get into it. All right, now we did get some Rivals rewards, so we've got to take a look at it. Basically, at this point, I'm just on the hunt for cards that I can use in terms of team builder sets. I am still trying to get the final team builder, the 93 overall Sammy Salo in this case. That's really the only grind I have left other than getting the, free master set player via event objectives and things like that. Now, just for reference, I'm still taking untradeable Rivals rewards simply because the value is just still unmatched. Whenever it comes to recommending what I think that you guys should do, I always try to make it as risk averse as possible because I know your time is far more valuable than what EA deems it to be. So I try to make it where at least you know you're getting guaranteed value and then go from there. Obviously, taking tradable rewards, getting half of the packs, pulling 194 overall card, and Bob's your uncle. But the odds of that happening are so slim, that is why I recommend doing untradeable, because even if you don't pull a purple card or anything of any value, essentially, at least you get a ton of 80 to 82 overall cards that you can throw in team builder sets or even just into power-up collectible sets to upgrade the cards that you want, and that's still going to be the play for the majority of the game. There will come a point where simply your lineup can't really improve if you are still grinding daily. At that point, you probably want to take tradable because just having coins for whatever the next insanely expensive card is probably what you want to do. So packs were a complete bust. However, I still had a ton of cards that required power-up collectibles to kind of hit their max. Just recently, I finally got Gordie Howe and Mario Lemieux, and obviously with the start of the new month, I had to get their latest tier, and I really wanted to catch them up. I've also got Cale Makar's X Factor, who I'm going to have to pay upgrades for, and then some other options that I'm strongly considering. But since the All-Star event just ended, one of the major benefits to the All-Star event is that it's a massive influx of 87 and above cards, and no one wants to use them in their lineup other than players that maybe started around Christmas time. I think those are great values, by the way. But because of it, there was just a massive influx of 88 overall cards, and the value was so insane when you consider the 4 power-up collectible trade-in. I was legitimately getting power-up collectibles for like 11,500 coins. So even though I didn't have a ton of coins, I was able to get 288s, and that was massive for obviously the power-up collectible trade-in. So like I mentioned, my main grind currently is just to complete that last team builder, and honestly, I think that on the way to getting 2 more 90 overall team builder cards, using Adrian Aucoin, I'll touch on my defense in just a little bit, is going to be an added advantage because I can use him in my lineup while I wait to get another 90 overall team builder to finally finish off the 4th one, which is Sammy Salo for me. But what I would recommend is, again, take your rewards and then every week just go through and autofill or manually put in all of the cards that you've got in your collection. And then what I do is once I get around 16, 17 out of 25 per team, that's when I'll consider buying, and I really don't like to go any more than 1,200 coins per card, but that's how I've completed all the team builders prior to this. But again, I'm just content with going at it in like a slow roll. It'll be about another 2 months before we see 96 overall team builders, so we've got lots of time. All right, on to the squad. This is the current lineup that I've been using in Rivals and Champ. Starting first with Nathan MacKinnon. Nothing really surprising here other than the fact that maybe that I choose to go with Accelerator Boost simply for other cards. And the reason for that is that he's got 98 speed regardless. His next upgrade, he might hit 99. My guess is that they would try and do everything they can to wait for his 96 to get that final speed increase. I'm just running Gold Wheels and Silver Elite Edges. I'm trying to get confirmation on this, but I was reading something from the developers speaking about World of Chell, and in World of Chell, everyone uses Elite Edges. Again, I'm not someone that plays a lot of 6s or 3-on-3, but everyone uses Elite Edges. And I guess in World of Chell, Silver Elite Edges is about 75% as useful as Gold, which is massive because the Superstar or Silver ability is supposed to be 50%. So you're getting more of an advantage with Silver Elite Edges than you would with other abilities. So every card that I possibly can, I'm putting Elite Edges on, especially the silver, because of how impactful it is. The reason why it is still impactful is that you maintain your speed when you are making turns left and right. So if you have gold wheels, which allows them to completely remove the debuff you get when carrying the puck. Again, for anyone that doesn't know, when you carry the puck, there is a 3% skating debuff, meaning that you are 3% slower to make up for the fact that you are now skating with the puck as opposed to not. With gold wheels, you don't receive that debuff. You are skating at the true speed, acceleration, and agility stat that is on that card. On top of that, they've increased the usefulness of wheels this year, which is why I think that on cards that have almost max speed, it is worth the 10 ability point. Nathan MacKinnon has been my best right-handed player. His shot is almost automatic, and it will remain that way throughout the remainder of the game. At center on my first line is the 93 team builder, Jason Arnott. Just a perfect Division 2, Division 1 centerman card, and there are so few of those in Hockey Ultimate Team this year. I don't know why. I mean, week 1 of the Style Icons event, we literally didn't even get another good centerman yet again. That said, 94 speed, 92 acceleration. He is not nearly as fast as the 2 other players on my line, but the fact that he's 6'5", 220 with gold quick draw and has the ability to knock pretty much everyone off the puck and doesn't have truculence. That's why I find him so useful. In my opinion, if you are going to streak up the ice, it is more than likely not going to be with your centerman. It is going to be with your wingers, which is why I'm okay with sacrificing a little bit of speed. The shot's really good as well. I've just all around really enjoyed this card. And again, gold quick draw on one player that has 99 faceoffs. If you are very good at faceoffs and understand the counters, I lose maybe 15% of my draws with Jason Arnott, which is a huge advantage. And then rounding out my first line, the best card in the game. His shot is automatic. His skating is built different because of his custom stride and the fact that it's almost maxed out. I'm just running gold wheels and silver elite edges. Since the hitting tuner or getting reverted back to what it was last weekend, Unstoppable Force is slowly becoming more and more important because everyone can throw anyone off the puck, and part of me is just like, whatever, everyone can hit regardless if their abilities have activated or not. But I have noticed that this past week, he does get thrown off a little bit when trying to hold on to it in the offensive zone, but there's essentially no card that keeps up with him because of his stride, and then his shot, especially low far side, is almost automatic. On to my second line, I've got the 93 Matthew Barzal. I know his moments have been frustrating for some. I have released a few videos and YouTube shorts or TikToks that go over my tips on how I completed it in about an hour and a half, and again, obviously, some players that maybe aren't as used to the game are going to struggle. This card is worth buying. Like, this card is worth doing as many objectives as you can in the moments, and then spending resources to finish it off. Just because you can't get it for free does not mean this card isn't unbelievable. He's got two-way forward and playmaking forward. I don't really run playmaking forward just because a lot of the cards that I have in my lineup are in the mid-90s and they've got maxed out hand stats anyways or maxed out passing. Power forward is an interesting synergy to get activated on him if you run him at center because he also has defensive boost, which would mean that his face-off rating is almost maxed out. I think the real advantage to Matthew Barzal, though, is gold wheels and silver elite edges with 99 speed. He has been really fun to use, and I've only played Division 2 rivals, and in 16 games, he's a plus 12 with 10 points. Again, playing on my second line. Next, at center on my second line, I've got the 94 Wayne Gretzky, and currently just messing around with synergies. I don't even have defensive boost activated on him. He's already got 95 face-offs, and again, as you can see, I don't even have gold unstoppable force activated on him, just silver elite edges. Skating's great. This card is the best ultimate icon currently still. It will change, in my opinion, as we get into the higher 90s, but still one of the best cards to chase after if you are someone who's going to play the game regularly. And then rounding it out, I've got the team builder Rick Nash. His shot and reach, especially for the goals that I go for, namely that low far side one, he just reaches further around and it's easier to pull off. And again, just elite edges, no unstoppable force, but like I said, after this past week, I'm probably going to mess around and mix in elite unstoppable force again because I am getting knocked off the puck. Not with Rick Nash, but just in general. Third line is now Gordie Howe, Mario Lemieux, and the team of the year, Matthew Tkachuk. I am very close to being able to activate Enforcer forward. Obviously, that's like kind of the main thing to try and look for because you can get his speed up to 94. I don't even have anything activated on him. He's a great penalty killer. Like, that's where I have him, and a lot of his goals I score shorthanded. It's hard to knock him off the puck, and I don't even have unstoppable force activated, but his shot is in the high 90s, and his hand stats are essentially max. Still a great card, but there is going to come a time when he gets a 95 or 96 overall where his skating has to get jacked way up because it is a sum of of all the attributes to get the overall. They can't keep his acceleration at 90 and speed at 90 while he's 96 because everything else is already 99. Mario Lemieux, kind of done dirty with that recent 92 overall because that is a better centerman in my opinion. Low-key, like a more valuable card. But obviously, Mario Lemieux will increase in value because you can get him to 99. Again, I don't think you need to run any abilities on him. He's been a great center for me. And if it wasn't for Arnott, he would be up higher in my lineup. No complaints at all with Mario Lemieux. And then finally, Gordie Howe. Not great, I'll be honest with you. I don't notice him all that much. His skating is definitely kind of sluggish, but just a fun flex card. I've got all the ultimate icons while being no money spent. And then finally on the last line, I've got Martin Necas from that flashback around Christmas time. Still one of the best values in the game if you were able to complete his moments. Mark Messier's captain card continues to be one of my favorites just simply because anytime I need to absolutely win a draw, I just throw him out there if Arnott's already gassed, and especially on the penalty kill. And then Teuvo Teravainen's just in the lineup. Just needs a few more goals before he becomes one of the better cards. Defense is where my focus for the next few weeks is going to be. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, Cale Makar's X Factor is still a fantastic option, especially with the hitting changes, because now you can go back to smashing anyone regardless of size with players like Cale Makar, especially if you can get their body checking bumped up a little bit. One of the fastest skaters. I've got a Heat Seeker on him because I shoot from the point so much, but you really don't even need anything in my opinion. D partner is the 93 Larry Robinson, probably the most impactful team builder of the 93. Silver truculence is all you need, and he is a dominant defenseman. He just reminds me a lot of like launch Patrice Brisebois or even Adrian Aucoin when he was first released. Just a very, very dominant card. Also feels faster than 93 speed, 95 acceleration. And then my second pair is where things get messy. Al MacInnis' All-Star card has been a great fill-in. I think this is a great value for anyone that is looking for a non-master set player defenseman because he's big, 91 speed and excel with 93 endurance, good body checking, like just an all-around fine card while I look for a replacement. D partner is the Nations of Hockey Victor Hedman. This card with gold shutdown is extremely useful still because of the fact that he's 6'7", 244. The issue is that if he gets on your third pair, it's really not worth activating shutdown and he loses a little bit of his value, but still a fantastic card. And even without it, if he's on your third pair, you've got someone who's 6'7" that has 90 speed and excel, a dominant third pairing defense. And then finally, I've just got Tage Thompson and Bobby Orr to fill out my third pairing. These guys barely see the ice. Here is my current plan. As I work towards team builders, Al MacInnis will be replaced by Adrian Aucoin. And then once I finish the other 90 overall team builder, he'll be replaced by Sammy Salo. Victor Hedman, I am more than likely going to move down to the third pairing and probably grab the 93 overall Brian McCabe. I have heard nothing but great things about this card, and at face value, he kind of looks like just like your average 93 overall player, but silver shutdown on him, and the fact he's got 93 speed, 93 excel, 93 agility, and 96 balance with 90 endurance, and then essentially maxed out defensive stats. He's just been one of the community's favorite cards. Again, in my Discord, nothing but love for Brian McCabe, and among the pro players that I speak to quite often, again, love Brian McCabe, so he is probably going to be my second pairing defenseman, moving Victor Hedman down to my third. And then in net, it's still the 85 Live Moments Markstrom. I have used this card, as you can see, for almost 600 games. He is fine, but he does not steal me any games anymore. At the launch of the game and when this card first came out, you guys saw the videos early on in this series. It was legitimately unstoppable. I've never seen a goaltender play so well, but it's definitely time for me to move on. The issue I have is that I hate spending money on goaltenders because they really don't matter. Like, they're going to be dependent on how you play defense, but it is definitely time to find an upgrade. The issue is that all of the replacements that I'm looking at, like Jay Gottinger, for example, this All-Star card is 100% the Division 2, Division 1 meta goaltender currently, is going for almost 200,000 coins, which is absolutely absurd unless you are trying to compete for the NHL World Championship and you absolutely want to have like the best team you possibly can, then I understand it. But there is going to be more Jay Gottinger cards that come out or other goaltenders, and this will plummet in price, but he clearly seems to be the best goaltender available right now. So this is why I just have a hard time spending coins on a goaltender. There are other options, but I'll wait and try to pick my spot, but the time is coming to retire the GOAT. Now, I've also talked about Rasmus Andersson's X Factor. He is another potential replacement for me on the right-hand side. I think if he scores one or two more goals and his fantasy card gets up to 92, 94, I will probably commit to upgrading this X Factor card. Again, he's got good size at 61202. He was also one of my favorite master set players from NHL 23, Silver Truculent. There is value in having a card that doesn't require a substantial amount of superstar or zone ability or ability points to be good. Silver Truculence on Rasmus Anderson, if he can get to like 92, 93 speed and excel, like we're laughing. That's a great card. And again, because he's got that fantasy card option, there's a real shot that he can kind of separate himself, much like Drew Doughty, who I will never have on my team. Lastly, I just want to talk about objectives and as well what I'm doing. Again, as you can see here, the Hutverse ones are about to end at the time of this recording, so I will try to grind out as many games as I can to get some more free power-up collectibles. And same thing with the All-Star. All I do is I go into squad battles, 2-minute periods, and I just kind of monotonously move or hit X to move on to the period to get these done. The Style Icon's free master set player. Again, I might go Brian McCabe, but I'm more than likely going to wait for week 2 and see who else. If you do not have the kind of hardcore player bases left-hand side, so like McDavid, Rick Nash, even Matthew Tkachuk, or Tara Vinen, I would 1000% recommend to get Andrei Svechnikov's Style Icons card. Again, he is a player that does have that custom stride, one of the very few. Feels faster than he is, and just a great build. So he would be the card I'd recommend for free, but I will have a ranking video once week 2's master set players come out. So guys, a lot less action in this video, but I thought because I didn't play as much due to my time at the All-Star event, I will have a vlog for that as well, so you guys can see all the behind the scenes, that what it looks like when the NHL hosts a major esports event. I thought that I would give you guys an update on my team and what I'm doing going forward. I'll be back with a regular Not a Dollars episode next week. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a good one.